Welcome back to another episode of New Age Podcast. My name is Charles.
And my name is Eddie.
And today we have another episode for you guys, which honestly we have been recording this last month, but we never get the videos out on time and the content we bring is officially outdated. So you guys will be seeing this officially and hold me accountable. What's Thursday?
Next Thursday?
This Thursday. What's this Thursday?
This past Thursday.
No, what's this week Thursday, dude?
That's what I'm asking.
Okay.
The 24th.
Okay. You guys will be seeing this on the 24th. Hold me
March.
accountable of February. Hold me accountable
February.
if you don't. But trust me, you guys will see this. And from now on, you guys will see at least updated information every single week. Maybe late a few days because we do upload daily clips afterwards. But at least for the time up, it is that week's current information and content going on. But other than that, how you been, man?
Pretty good. Very busy with work and jumping into new things, Valentine's, and having to handle everything as well. But been chilling.
All right, you ready to jump right in?
Let's do it.
All right, so first up, we got a video, and this one caught me by surprise. And I've never seen a video advertised so much, especially for Showtime. I've never seen a documentary for Showtime be advertised so much. But this one actually has a whopping, 2 million views for a Showtime documentary. I don't even think anyone really knows about Showtime anymore. It dropped February 1st. About 2.5 million views, as Dario mentioned, and it is called Everything's Gonna Be All White. Not all right, all white. I did see the first episode as a discretion right now. I did see the first episode, and I would put this as a viewer's discretion advice. It says it right from the beginning. It could be very offensive, but let's just see our reaction. Let's try to see if we'll break down the video real quick.
Annoys me most about white people is when they pretend like they're the victim.
I told you.
What's also annoying is when they kill us.
What is fragile about whiteness when everything has been constructed around it?
Every part of who I am has been distorted or criminalized.
It's really just a bunch of white lies.
We're storming the Capitol!
You're not patriots. You're ridiculous.
One of the definitions of American whiteness is ignorance.
White people, we are not your problem. You are.
Should white people today feel any responsibility for slavery?
Hell yeah.
White Jesus or black Jesus?
Jesus.
I'll stop right there. I feel like they've already given a lot of information to where as long as you're approaching this open-mindedly, you could see it and you could be like, they bring a point. And at least within this trailer alone, they're showing you clips to where you're like, like that point of time, it makes sense. I mean, I don't know if you want to throw something in there real quick.
I'm very mixed on this. I'll save my opinions for the end.
It's not white.
Think of geography. Ain't no way Jesus walked around with blonde hair and blue eyes.
White culture fears the end of the world. For us as Native people, the end of the world already happened multiple times.
Symbols and monuments, these are mementos of racism.
Bring that statue down. Put up a TCBY yogurt or something everybody can get behind.
The truth has to be told about history.
We have to make sure that these stories are told from our perspective.
There's always hope. You know what I'm saying? We don't give up.
It's about obliterating systemic and institutionalized racism.
This is a wild place, y'all. It's a wild place. I know Harriet and Frederick be up there just like, what is they gonna do?
All right, well, I've already seen the first episode of this. I was going to make it a goal to watch the entire thing, but I got caught up in my own schedule. So I only made time to at least watch just one episode. I did see the first episode of this. I didn't just go based off the trailer of this because you know about this about me. Like when I see something and I'm like, oh, hell no about something, I at least go give it a try. Just so I don't sound like majority.
Mm-hmm.
I get the concept. I get the agenda, and I understand maybe the intention behind, but the way that first episode was delivered, let's just say this. If there's 2.5 million views and only 3,000 likes, I think that speaks a lot itself. I think Justin Bieber's video has more likes, a baby one. But it's just a thing of like, oh my gosh, at this moment, dude. How do you say? So imagine if we saw a video and it was a trailer like this, and the beginning, from the jump, it said, warning, this may trigger Mexican people. Oh my gosh, the controversy that will blow up in the air. How dare they say that? Or, oh, warning, this may trigger Asian people. This may trigger black people. I don't think that'll be aired on a TV channel like Showtime. Because it's not like this is a YouTube doc. This is legit TV, Showtime. And I kid you not, I saw the first episode. I tried to see it through, which I did see it through. And there's a lot of good points they made. And there was just so many different things, though, where you know how I feel about complainers. And I get it. I do get it. But I also come from a household with moral values that were much more raised on. When you live in the past, you keep complaining about the past. And again, I'm not discrediting anything about history. I am not whatsoever. I'm just pointing out that everything, it just seems so. If there was a show, which there probably was back then, to be honest, there probably was. But the problem I have with this show is this will not be okay today if it was any other race. But it's okay because it's white people. That's my part that kind of like itches at me wrong. Because that just shows like, dude, what times are we in today, man? Now it's like a big thing that, you know, it's gonna be on TV that, yeah, fuck white people. What? And it's just like, dude, it's not even United States of America. It's just States of America. That's the only reason. It's like I just don't think this type of thing helps today. I think it just divides us more. I mean, we already got divided over COVID. More divided than we've ever been. We're still getting more divided because of like politics, and we're still getting more divided because of I will say because of activist reasons. Now we're getting divided over cancel culture. We're getting divided over everything, dude. And it's just like, and the reason why I'm saying it like this, and the reason why I'm saying this is wrong to be so divided, is because of the fact that, imagine like this. If I ever wanted to, let's say we're businesses. I'm Walmart, you're Target, okay? Now at Target, I heard rumors that your guys' stock is depreciating because you guys don't know how to manage your business together in the corporate office. As Walmart, I'm thinking in my head, oh, I don't even have to worry about taking them down. They're going to take themselves down. Then I'm going to swoop in, take the majority of their consumers, create 3 times the product because they can't even manage to do that themselves, and then clear Target off the map. I just think that's how every other country is looking at America today. They're literally thinking in their head, we could take down one of the history's most strongest nations military-wise because of the fact that they're doing it to themselves. They're breaking themselves down. This is so easy for us. Like, we could swoop in. There's a movie called Red Dawn, and I think it's very much realistic to happen, where it's basically these other 2 countries, or basically countries that are common enemies of America that always have been, together aligned because America has already broken itself down. And then they actually take over. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking a little bit too far, thinking a little bit too extreme, but at the same time, reality of war is real, and war always starts by manipulating the enemy to create the enemy to become an enemy to itself. Sun Tzu, Art of War. That's my opinions. But I do get at least the context of bringing out a point of view that isn't spoken about. I do get that part, but I don't think this is the time for that.
Right. I feel like you make a fair point, because for myself, I was getting this advertisement on YouTube quite often, and I mentioned to you this, and the first time I saw it, I was kind of just letting my phone sit to the side, and I was listening in, and I was like, like this sounds kind of interesting in the sense of, why am I getting this kind of ad, you know? Because nowadays every little ad is gestured either to one search that you've made or to something.
Oh, dude, I got crazy stuff on that. Go ahead.
So I was like, so to me, like the first time I was kind of like, I was curious to see what this was about, but at the same time to understand why YouTube would think of recommending me, or at least putting this as an ad towards me. And it basically got very repetitive, because every other ad was this. And, you know, like you said, I mean, it's depicting a different perspective for sure. I haven't looked into the episodes. I haven't seen anything. So at least just from the trailer itself, I can understand that it's trying to depict different perspectives. But at the same time, just how you said it, like, it's just at this point, we're just kind of fighting like our own selves. And it's not helping anyone.
No one's
it's not helping anyone, like
in
America.
The US, in America. Well, yeah, other countries might benefit.
Exactly. But I mean, to me, I just feel like this is another one of those shows where it's high risk with possible high reward, or high risk with high like failure and high damage. So, you know, to me, there's not much more to say than what you've already said. But besides, you know, this is going to be a tricky one. It's going to be interesting.
I decided to see how this is doing on like all the critics' reviews, all that kind of stuff. And I'm at least glad that there are some people who are basically literally putting in the comments on Rotten Tomatoes and other places, like, give this 1%, give this the lowest amount of stars, because we cannot encourage this. So that at least I found very interesting, because even when I went to many different websites, you found that comment a lot. And me curious, I would look at their profile pictures, because I want to know, is this like all white people basically saying this, or is this like really a mix? Basically, people just collectively saying this we don't need right now. And it was collectively, like, I'm going based off of just picture alone. I'm just literally going based off of how their picture looks. There's someone looked Hispanic. There's about like I think like counted 20 different women who look Hispanic, about 32 different women who look black, and about 42 women who look white. Because mostly, realistically, like, older women leave reviews. Like, guys don't. We don't take the time to do that. But like maybe a few guys I think I saw, but it was majority women. But I was like, okay, I wanted to be sure, at least on the part for that, it wasn't just like a whole like white people being like against this. No, it was collectively mature women who knew this wasn't who knew this wasn't good for the timing we're in right now. Bad timing for we're in right now. But I mean, I think we basically tackled on that one. What was the other thing we had next? I think that one you could explain. Oh, no. So I don't know if you heard, but there's been a lot of controversy with Joe Rogan. And you're not familiar with this podcast, right? Okay, so Joe Rogan, I will consider him essential to today, because in the world of like politics and all that kind of stuff, he's been so far the most neutral person. Like, you throw him any direction of the spectrum, he's gonna always land in the middle, which is essential, because you kind of need someone like him who's very open-minded and is willing to conversate about things that people won't conversate, and conversate about the things people are conversating on. And there's been a lot of controversy over him, specifically with Spotify, as a recent guest, Neil Young, he was gonna be a guest, but he said he did not want to be on Spotify because Joe Rogan's platform spreads misinformation on COVID. And then later on, some other Joey lady, and what's crazy is that Spotify stock dropped about 12%. And I didn't think like an artist like Neil Young, like an old guy artist, apparently had 12% worth of music on Spotify, which I found crazy. And then from there, it turned into a controversy of him saying the N-word, and collective clips. and then it turned into what you're about to see right now.
Doctor, I'm a f***ing moron, and I'm a cage fighting commentator who's a dirty stand-up comedian.
These mandates of an experimental vaccine are explicitly illegal.
Misinformation about the pandemic, about COVID-19, and about the vaccines has been a risk factor for more disease and death throughout this entire pandemic. And when it's spreading on a big platform like that unchecked, it does create a sense of false balance, and people don't know what to believe. So they'll believe the misinformation instead of the public health guidances.
I am going to do my best in the future to balance things out. I'm going to do my best. But my point of doing this is always just to create interesting conversations and ones that I hope people enjoy. So if I pissed you off, I'm sorry. And if you enjoy the podcast, thank you.
I think his apology was a non-apology, and he just made excuses for him spreading misinformation.
Boy, that he's a n***, and starts calling them n***. There should be a word like n***. That's our n***.
Certainly thought it would be easier, because I thought they would go, okay, take her off. All right, go ahead, take her off. And then I had to fight to get it off too. I'm still in a fight to get it off. You listen, we get 0.003 to 0.005% of a penny.
Now, I know that to most people, there is no context where a white person is ever allowed to say that word, never mind publicly on a podcast. And I agree with that now. I haven't said it in years, but for a long time, when I would bring that word up, like if it would come up in conversation, instead of saying the N-word, I would just say the word. I thought as long as it was in context, people would understand what I was doing. But whenever you're in a situation where you have to say, I'm not racist, you f***ed up. And I clearly have f***ed up.
So, quick glance. So, yeah, at least are kind of caught up basically with what's going on with Joe Rogan. Again, also a small detail when he meant by the context, and the 70 episodes that got removed were basically the 70 episodes where that word was said mixed with COVID information, where he was talking about COVID. Those are the ones that got removed, on top of the fact that something that people didn't realize, but then again, it's a good point that that word shouldn't be used at all, where those words were actually him quoting and saying different things. When he was quoting, whether it was a book or a movie, he was quoting. But again, what's your opinions?
I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of things that, depending on which side you choose to be, either way he's in the hot seat. Mm-hmm. Either way, things have been done, things have been said to where controversy has sparked, and that's the one thing, especially with the whole using that word, is if there is no context, immediately you're thrown under the bus. Mm-hmm. Immediately, like, no need to do research, nothing. You said it. There's a recording of you saying it. That's it, right? So, I mean, I can try and understand how, from his perspective, he's trying to portray, whether it was the book, whether, whatever it is he was quoting, to go along and say it. But at the same time, like, there's still gonna be people out there who will be like, no, that he still said the word, whether it's the hard R, whether it's the other one, it's just either way, like, you're saying the word. So it's just him being in the hot seat, and his apologies, I mean, personally, his apologies didn't sound like apologizing. It sounded like he realized the situation, mentioned what was going on within the situation, and was like, I'll try and do better. But if you did enjoy it, like, thank you. Because then at that point, it's like you're trying to apologize. You're trying to make up for what's going on, whether it's controversy or not. And then you hit him with the thank you, and you kind of just throws everything else out the way. That's how I'm taking it. Mm-hmm. And as for the COVID stuff, like, I'm not going to lie, at this point,
everything's misinformation.
Yeah, I was going to say everything. Literally, because
everything. I don't even trust the CDC anymore.
And that's the thing. And that's why I'm like, okay, so there was an X amount of, was it doctors, right? Mm-hmm. That signed a petition saying that was misinformation. But then when COVID first hit and they were launching the vaccines and everything, doctors didn't want to get them themselves. But they were passing them out to all the people. So it's like, so who exactly is in the right and who's in the wrong? Mm-hmm. And now if he's having someone who's trying to give out information, at this point you can't tell if he's giving true information or false, because at this point doctors are still not wanting to get the vaccine themselves. That's why there were so many doctors and nurses that ended up getting, like, losing their positions or leaving because they were, like, they were trying to force them to get it. So it's like, so exactly who's giving the misinformation at this point? Right. So that's why, to me, I was kind of like, well, yes, he's having someone as a guest and they're just sparking conversation. Luckily, I guess, because, I haven't seen the episode or anything, but just going off from what the guy's background is or whatever kind of led to the conversation of COVID. And from there, they just, the gentleman gave out information. But yeah, I don't know at this point who's the one giving misinformation. Is it the doctors or is it, the gentleman that had that go against them for that same reason? So to me, it's just like, either way, I'm still not going to, like, I don't want to say care, but to me, it's just kind of like, oh, well, it's something new I can hear, but at the same time, who knows if I'll choose to believe it or not.
No, I want to add a few different details for anyone that probably doesn't know anything to catch up. So the biggest controversial one, which actually caused the Neil Young guy to want to leave, and therefore that later Neil Young then turned into this artist, and then the whole clip of him saying the N-word popped up from it's like Ariel something. She's an older artist. Mm-hmm. The one who was speaking the saying that she got like 0.005. Yeah, her. It all started with Neil Young, then went on, and then from there it's like, oh, let's cancel Joe Rogan. And I have like 3 controversies over this. One is I can't stand cancel culture. I can't stand like erasing something everyone's built. I can't stand taking away something someone's built over time simply because of something they said back then. When back then, in all honesty, if we're being real, back then it wasn't as sensitive as it is now. So that's why it was a little bit more allowed. It was a little bit more laxed. So like, it's like one of those things where it's like, when it comes to certain things, it's like, who hasn't stepped in a little bit of dirt in their entire life? You had to. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. So it's like, when you limit people and try to cancel them, you're not letting them grow. You're stopping that process. Then my second thing is, I'm with you. Everything's misinformation about COVID nowadays. Like, dude, it was like all of a sudden in California, it was like, you must wear a mask. And then it was like, oh yeah, we don't need masks anymore as long as you're vaccinated. And then it's like, oh, now you gotta be vaccinated and have a mask. And then it's like, now it's like vaccinated booster and then no mask. It's like, dude, it's like, how do you say it? It's like sending a soldier to war but not training them. Shit's gonna go all over. Shit's gonna hit the fan, right? Is that what they say? Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, it's just gonna go everywhere. They're gonna tell this soldier, you need to duck. Then the other soldier's gonna be over there like saying, no, you need to shoot. You get me? You can't throw people in the middle of a battle. And I get if we're thrown in the battle. If we're thrown in the middle of a battlefield, then just don't throw so many instructions, so many things, because then at that point, it becomes false information the moment it doesn't line up with what it was supposed to be. And then for the third one, I think he's essential, man. He brings on so many different guests. I think his platform has by far the biggest wide range of guests. He's like 1,000-something episodes in. He's been doing this before it became a thing. He's the one who made video podcast over YouTube a thing. And then to just attack him suddenly for all these different things of his past, it's like this man's 50 something. He had a long life ahead of what today's time is. So something to call him on the past. I guarantee you anyone who's in his age around that time really didn't care because it was in the context of something. So I don't know. I told you, man, I lose hope slowly day by day. But then I gain bits of hope. But then I get back to the same. But no, I think he's very essential. I think for people who have something against him, I say give him a try. Rather than this information about him, actually give him a try. Like, listen, because he shares a lot of intellect, especially young men. He was the first alternative for young men self-help, realistically. Women had The View, they had Oprah, they had The Wendy Show. No, men had nothing. Joe Rogan came around. The men had Joe Rogan. So he's essential. Cancel culture sucks. But I do understand at least the small bits of controversy. But at the same time, on the whole COVID misinformation for his platform, everything's misinformation nowadays. Nothing has yet to be confirmed. They haven't even confirmed if it came from a bat. So far now it's being slowly confirmed that it came from a lab and it was human made. Dude, nothing's confirmed. So it's like, don't call nothing misinformation if nothing's confirmed yet. All we know is for sure, you can get it. That's it.
On better news, though, with how you were speaking about it earlier, and it's actually within Joe Rogan, is so I have a TikTok. Oh, yeah. So I might as well just throw it in right now. And it's about an episode with Joe Rogan and Elon Musk. Now, I'll play with you guys. I'll play it for you guys right now. But honestly, I just personally, like, if this can get done and it can get done properly, this will be a huge change in all of humanity at this point, with what's able to happen from here. And we can talk about this afterwards as well, because I know you mentioned something that Elon Musk has also been working on before. So let me just play this for you guys real quick.
If someone ultimately does get a NEUROLINK installed, what will take place? What exactly is it?
Basically implanted in your skull. Take out a chunk of skull, put the NEUROLINK device in there. In principle, fix almost anything that is wrong with the brain. So it could be something that helps cure eyesight, like give you returns your eyesight, even if you've like lost your optic nerve.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Hearing, obviously, could restore limb functionality. So if you've got somebody who's a quadriplegic to full functionality, like they can walk around,
Whoa.
Yeah.
So
maybe slightly better.
Slightly better?
Over time, yes. And you wouldn't even know that somebody has it, fixing any kind of brain injury.
When it comes to technology like that, I'm either scared or I'm excited.
I think I'm a bit of both.
In between. It's one of the two.
Both, but yes.
It's never in between. It's either scared or excited.
I mean, just think about it, man. Like, being able to cure like so many different things, because there's so many tragic things that happen in life, whether it's natural disasters that affect people within those natural disasters, or just natural born certain certain ways and everything. Like, if Elon is able to get this done, it will change the life of so many different people, starting or already going through it, and basically just give them an opportunity to experience something that they lost or they never were able to have, to begin with. So to me, like, this just sounds dope. Obviously, at this point, one thing you want to ask is, how much is it going to cost? Because the whole surgery and everything, it's going to be a very pretty penny. But at the same time, if this is able to work out, then I wouldn't be surprised if he already has like a line, or if he already has people like already saying, like, I want it, I want in. Like, I will be one of your test subjects. I will be your guinea pig. I want in.
That's the part is scary. You have to test it on a human. And keep in mind, the brain's the most critical part of the body. Your brain's more critical than your heart. Your heart could actually keep pumping for a cool about 3 minutes, I believe, after after, as long as your brain's still functioning. But if your brain functions, everything's done. So I don't know. That part just scares me because the fact that it's going attached to the brain.
You're sending your life away.
Something happens, or let's just say it's all good for like a year or two. You get me? And then later on, small bugs, viruses, things that are happening to Teslas right now that people are starting to get mad about. It's like, what if that happens? Like someone just fucking dies just randomly right there. Like, I don't know. It's cool. It's very cool. It's very innovative, and it's very helpful because there are a lot of people who want to walk again, and there are a lot of people who want to see, and a lot of people want to hear again. So no, that part is very helpful. But the scary part is, how do we guarantee this is gonna work? And how many trials through humans are we gonna have to go through? Or what are we going through exactly to test? Because again, that's just the scary part, because it's like I don't know. It's cool though. It's very cool, and the objective behind it is great. And if it works out well, maybe someday we could move on to like laser eyes and shit like that. I don't know, but hey,
Superman.
If anyone can do it, it's Elon for sure.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like it's amazing, but it's also scary, just the amount of progress we've made
with tech in 10 years,
everything in general.
10, 20 years, dude, it's insane.
Because I mean, tech can be thrown into any aspect realistically. Because in this case, he's throwing tech into like healthcare, health reasoning. So it's not just luxury items. It's not just devices, vehicles. Like tech is now being thrown into just everyone's minds with healthcare stuff. Being able to, look through COVID and look at all the diseases and everything, figure out what exactly is coming from. Like there's so much advancement from tech within these past few years that it's amazing, but it's also scary, because who knows how far we can get and who knows what's going to happen from there.
I will say this though, if it comes to technology in anyone's hands, I trust it in his hands because he has proof of concept. And not just that, like Elon Musk, he isn't like Bill Gates comes off as kind of sus when it comes to like technology like this. Mark Zuckerberg comes off as sus. But Elon Musk, this guy paid like more taxes than any president, all presidents in U.S. history combined. You got to trust this guy. He's not here to be like some type of crazy person taking over the world. He doesn't have those goals. He doesn't even want to take over this world. He wants to go to Mars. He doesn't care about this world. He wants to go to Mars. It's just like, if anyone was going to do this kind of tech, that's this much of a risk, I will feel more confident being in his hands. Like this guy's a GOAT, man.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that one, it looks like you have this shit in Spanish.
Oh, so yeah, I found the article in Spanish. Hold on, let me change that for you.
It's cool. It's cool.
Because you can't read.
Okay. I could have read it anyways.
I mean, either way, it's we're just talking about anyways.
Yeah.
So,
Super Bowl
halftime
2022.
Show. Mm-hmm. So it just happened. Our main topic was to talk about the halftime show, but just because we feel like we can dive more deeper into that than the game itself. I mean, I personally didn't watch it.
I didn't get a chance to watch, but I just the LA one.
Mm-hmm. But so 6 stars, right? Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, Eminem, Kendrick, and her name
Mary
is
J. Blige.
Yeah, so she's the one I'm still trying to remember. But 6 stars, and this was supposed to be catered towards the rap kind of
community.
Exactly. Now, I want to get your opinions with everything you want to say, whether it's like location, style of genre, how do you think it went? What's on your mind?
We kind of discussed this before, and I'm going to jump straight to it, dude. This is a Super Bowl with LA playing. In LA, I felt that if there was a time to capitalize on it, throwing in Hispanic artists into the Super Bowl, it would have been that time. I think they could have had a adjusted lineup for the Super Bowl. For example, Eminem, he had one song, Lose Yourself, and that was by far the most hype the crowd got. He did good on his song selection. I think Eminem should have been given another song because Eminem is both in the back for the old people. So he's very much he makes music that's relevant to people in the past, as well as music midway, as well as music for new people now. Snoop Dogg, he's outdated in my opinion. I think Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre together should have just had one song. And they had 50 Cent surprise appearance. I think 50 Cent should have jumped in with them, and they split the time for one song into half. Kendrick's dope, but wrong song. This is Super Bowl. People can't really dance. You got to get them hyped. They got to get hyped. We gonna be all right. Like, that's a cool song to listen in the car, in your earbud, but for performance, for people who don't know your music, I think Humble was a better way to go. It's much more hyped. It's much more audience engaged. You could do a huge performance, fireworks, all that kind of stuff with that kind of beat. Mary J. Blige, my only thing with her is you already have people who people could like reference back to then. You have no one in this entire lineup that's very current for people today. I mean, young today, like little TikTokers, basically. People argue, what about Kendrick and Eminem? I think Kendrick and Eminem is more our age. I don't think Kendrick and Eminem are like 12-year-old, 13, 14, 15. 15's like okay, yeah, more than likely. But 12, 13, 14, I don't think so. So Mary J. Blige is very much like for people 20 to 30, even above. I think she could have been replaced with a musical artist who raps and is young today, works well with the young crowd. Doja Cat, I think, would be a prime pick because of the fact that you have Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre on one song. You have Doja Cat take a moment separating from them, goes on to Doja Cat. Boom, crowd would explode. She's got hella hits that are honestly tunable for everybody. And then boom, you jump straight to Eminem. You jump straight to Kendrick. Then you jump to Eminem. And then maybe they could have all got on a track together. Now, that was if it was that lineup. Now, let's say we took a Hispanic turn because it's LA. LA is full of Hispanics, dude. If there's a time to show appreciation to the Hispanic community, as well as a time to embrace the Hispanic community and do it in the home of Hispanics, LA, if we're being honest, we're the highest population here in LA. In SoCal alone, we are the highest. It would have been this time because it's going to be a while till we get Super Bowl in LA again. And I think you could have had people like Bad Bunny, man. You could have had Daddy Yankee for the older people. You get me? Like, I feel like this could have been a time to show appreciation for the Hispanic community that hasn't been shown in Super Bowl before. We've never seen we've seen small features like J-Lo, but we haven't seen like a full lineup of Hispanic artists at a Super Bowl. And I do think the time to do that is LA. It's LA, man. Los Angeles. You could have done Los Angeles Azules. Bro, like, just imagine, when you looked at the crowd that night, it was a lot of Hispanic people there, dude. And people may argue it's football, not football. So, but either way, dude, I know a lot of people would have been excited if they had someone like Bad Bunny. He would have got the entire crowd hyped, for sure. You could have thrown in Daddy Yankee for a cool throwback. Everyone would have been excited seeing Daddy Yankee, Bad Bunny. I should say a young female artist, like you have Rosalina, you have what's her name? The one with the gap tooth.
Becky G.
Becky G. You have her. You have so many different artists you could have brought in. I feel like you could have still kept this lineup, and you could have brought both cultures together. That's something that we have not seen in the Super Bowl. But I think a time to capitalize on Hispanic community was this recent Super Bowl halftime show. And you could have even done that even better and topped it by putting the Hispanic and the Black community together, because that's what LA is, if we're being honest. We're a majority of that. So, I don't know. This performance wasn't the best in my opinion. I think the best out of it was Eminem. 50 Cent surprise appearance. I told you what I saw. I just saw a bunch of memes on him. It was like when he was hanging down, it was like, this is what I look like when I'm trying to find my charger after I drop it under the bed. And there's another one where it's like, inflation's so high, 50 Cent turned into $5, like, because he gained weight. Like, that was the comedic part that I like. But no, out of this performance, I've seen better. I'm not happy with the lineup. They do have great artists. I'm not discrediting the artist. I just don't think it was right for the setting, as well as the opportunity. They could have cast on a great opportunity with, again, Hispanic or both Black and Hispanic, and I'll leave that for you. But out of the performance, I guess you could say I was only satisfied with Eminem's performance.
I mean, for me personally speaking, once again, I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch the halftime show until afterwards. And I mean, going into it beforehand, I had already read some articles and stuff, so I knew the base of who was going to be there. And for myself, I'm not, fully invested into rap and everything. So to me, it wasn't like the craziest thing. It wasn't eye-catching, but I knew it was still at least something popular. It was something, hopefully it would have gone good. Now, I agree with you as well. I'm not going to lie, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and the surprise guest of 50 Cent. To me, it was kind of like, okay, so it's an old hit. And for those that know it. For those that don't. And since I was kind of going off of the YouTube video of the halftime show itself, I was actually letting you know too. I was looking at the crowd behind them to see if they were actually doing something. Because, one of the things you want out of performance is engagement. You want to have the fans, jumping around or like singing or like something, something. I'm not going to lie, when Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and 50 Cent came in at the start, there wasn't much of an audience of moving around. They kind of just stood there. And I mean, I understand, this is more catered towards older people, at least for us, right? Our age.
It's more like a throwback thing, really.
Yeah. So, and that was the one thing I feel like they missed out on, they missed out on big time as the NFL and halftime show, because, you want publicity. You want things to be spread around. You want, news. You want stuff. You want something mentioned about the halftime show. What better than to advocate, even if it's just a little bit, to the younger side where they're so tech savvy. They're so
TikTok, man.
On
Instant
TikTok,
viral.
on social media, like so much stuff that they're putting out. That's why, like you mentioned before, putting in like Doja Cat or, if you want to do something Hispanic and throwing in like Bad Bunny, like I kid you not, those are the kind of people that, for a younger audience, someone who is tech savvy or someone who is more likely to give the NFL and to give the halftime show publicity, would have had a better, you would have had a higher opportunity doing that with those kind of singers, those kind of, just that whole thing. With this whole kind of retro style, I feel like it's a hit and miss, and normally just correlates with the older audience, like I had mentioned before. Just because, at least for myself speaking, it's Snoop Dogg, it's Dr. Dre. They played the OG songs. I know it because I've heard it once in a blue moon, but I don't know the songs for me to be rapping with it, for me to be vibing with it and enjoying with it. And with Kendrick, same thing goes with what Char said. I don't know Kendrick. I know it was Humble, right? I know that song just a little bit more than what he played, but I know Humble is more of a hype song, like you were explaining. If Humble had came up, by all means, I would have been hyped up watching the halftime show. And I just feel like for Kendrick, at least, was just the poor song choice, And then as for Mary J. Blige, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know her. I don't know her music. I don't know her history, nothing. I know she's well known for the older generation, but the only things I do know is, as I was working at work and having casual conversations with customers and bringing up the halftime show and everything, whenever somebody had something bad to say, they always had something bad to say about her. And to me, I was like, well, I don't personally know anything about her. I don't know about her music or anything. But they always had something to say bad about her out of the six that were, the five, because 50 Cent was a surprise guest. So out of the five that were there, they always had something bad to say about her. So I just feel like, any sort of change with having someone else within her spot would have been good. Now, obviously, at that point, hopefully they would have catered to the younger audience to be able to get more publicity, have at least a younger audience also vibe with them and everything. Because I'm not gonna lie, like I said, I'm not into the whole rap thing. But even then, I don't know Eminem the way you do. I don't know his songs and all that. But when he came up, like I was actually vibing with him and everything. So I was like, okay, like.
Because Lose Yourself, you heard at least 1 or 2 times in your lifetime.
But even then, like, you know, it's a good song. It's a song that has the beat and everything for you to be like, I might not know it, but it's a good beat. Like, it gets me moving, it gets me going, which is good. That's why, like, Eminem, like, you know, out of all of them, I feel like Eminem would have been my topic too. And now coming down to how you explained it, because, you know, I strongly agree. It would have been the perfect opportunity to have Latin artists. And, you know, if you wanted to mix in Latin with, you know, different races, like they could have easily thrown in Rosalia with The Weeknd and had just that one song play for a part. Like, there's so many different opportunities they could have had. So many, at least, Latin artists that, let alone just because they're Latin, you will have a bunch of publicity alone. And I just feel like that was such a big, like, missed opportunity for that same reason you explained. So all in all, I just feel like, you know, they I've seen better, I guess.
For sure.
I've seen better, and I've enjoyed better. Not to say I didn't enjoy certain parts. Certain parts were so good. Like I said, the Eminem part I also enjoyed. But I just feel like when Kendrick came on, I didn't know the song. And I was kind of just like, okay, you know, Kendrick's Kendrick. He can be good. And he can get the good involvement as long as it's songs that, you know, people will know. I didn't know it, so I didn't, you know, I couldn't really go with it. But other than that, like, I just feel like, at least for myself, it could have been better. And just giving at least more showtime to certain people and taking back at least a song or two from certain people as well would have been a good way of managing songs and interaction with the audience, or even taking, in this case, you know, Mary J. Blige, taking her out and putting somebody else in. That would have catered to at least the full audience of everyone in that case. On to our next topic. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I found this article, read through it, looked through it. It caught me by surprise, just for the sense of, to me, this looks amazing. But at the same time, I'm scared. Okay, like so basically.
So this scares you, but Elon Musk connecting a disc behind your brain doesn't scare you.
It's because just like you explained earlier, like Elon, like you can trust Elon Musk. This is something different. This is where I'm kind of like, this is a whole new level, because at this point we're using tech, like we're using social media and everything, like iPhones with the whole, I forget what it's called, but you know, to unlock the phone with the face and yeah. So it's like everything, you know, that's where I'm like, you know, freaked out. So basically a Brazilian artist, I'm gonna try my best to say his name, Hidrelei Leli Diallo, or, you know, something like that. So this artist, no, you're good. So the artist went and used a lot of applications such as Photoshop and separate applications within a mobile device as FaceApp, Gradient, and Remini. And what he did was he got a lot of like animated characters and created like real life human portraits. As people like, you know, what is it, Mo Sizzler from The Simpsons, and just that alone, like you can't tell me if you look at that, like that portrait of that person,
that's creepy.
That you wouldn't assume this is like a real person. Because I know your initial reaction when I showed you this, you were like, no, that's real people. And it wasn't until I explained to you like the application and everything that he used, but like he's going on and he's using like Aladdin, he's using, you know, the
guy from Up.
Yeah,
these look like pictures of people. That's the crazy
and that's the thing is
part.
like, yeah, like like it's just it's her alone.
The Maribel in person really does look like someone they told me that looks like Maribel, and now I can't unsee it now that you have an in person.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like to me it's scary because as you scroll through this article,
that one's too accurate.
Yeah, you just see and you're like, I would casually see somebody that looks just like this, like down like crossing down the street down in LA, like to me like I said, this is fascinating. This is amazing because, way back when you would think as you're watching an animated show like The Simpsons, like,
Popeye, Goku in person.
You're like, I want to see, I want to see these characters. I want to see my favorite characters, like in real life. Like, I wonder what they look like.
Tanjiro.
Yeah, like with the scar, like, dude, like, oh my, I don't want to geek out or nothing, but it's just, it's amazing, but at the same time, it's so scary because who knows what could happen with this kind of technology, Because if they're doing something like with animated characters, now who's to say they can't get stuff out of real people? And now all of a sudden, they're using your Face ID at a different side of the country, different side of the world for something private, And that's where I get scared of. And I'm kind of like, with how fast technology is growing, how I mentioned earlier, who knows where this is going to go? Who knows who's going to take advantage of this? Like, it's scary. And I mean, I don't have much more besides just geeking out with how realistic these pictures look. But at the same time, like, I just can't get that thought in the back of my head of just,
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I buy this or not. I feel like someone just took pictures of people who look like or dressed like for like a cosplay thing, and then put them there. Like, oh, this looks like this person. And then made I don't know, because it's like it just seems so unreal. Do you get me? Like I'm trying to find the rational answer.
I feel like there's too much detail into each character, or like each real life portrait, for me to say that that's not like created. Because unless it's just by sheer coincidence that there's a human being that has every little like outline and everything that you would expect from someone to look like Mo, and so on and so forth for each and every person here. Like, for example, like I forget her name, but just seeing that alone, like, you can't tell me if you were to look at her animated and like the real life portrait that you wouldn't think this is exactly what she would look like. Because they're going down to the wrinkles, to like
I know
to everything. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it's too fine detailed and too precise for it not to be animated, not to be edited or created in that sense.
It's just crazy the fact that someone could paint that good to me as well. Because that looks like a real picture of someone on the left of Mulan, the Asian girl. That looks like someone took a picture of her.
I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I could tell that I personally feel like this could be very much like AI animated. Like, I had an example in my head, like, I forgot what company it was, but they were making like a visual AI, kind of like Siri, and it's not the Samsung one either, but that's what it is. So there's I don't know if it's a game or if it's a website where there's an AI and she looks like an Asian descent, and whenever you type something and you send it through, she responds back, but she responds like she's talking. The thing is, like, her face within that, it looks realistic, but it's an AI. So that's why, like, to me, like, I thought back to then and then seeing the picture, like, the picture looks like she like it's an AI, but I can also understand where you feel like that's a human being, that's a real human.
I know, this shit gets crazy for me sometimes. No, but I mean, hey,
to me this one's the most. I'm just kind of like, it's a perfect resemblance.
Yeah, no, but hey, honestly, I just think that's crazy. 1, 2, I seen iRobot. I know how this could turn out. 3, they already got robots that move like humans. So all it takes is whoever this artist is to one day be like, you know what, let's take these robots that already move like humans and use AI intelligence to make it look like humans. And imagine you could be going on a Tinder date with a robot. Like, that's fucking crazy to me. I don't know. It's just like, this is definitely cool, freaky. This is very cool, freaky. But on the bright side, which is a huge bright side, maybe if Disney looks at this person's portrait, they can actually cast good people for whenever they do live films that actually look like the people.
Look like the characters.
Exactly. So, you know, this could work out, you know? Now all the live films we get, now we could actually get people that actually like, look, if it does not look like this guy, do not cast him, you know?
So what you're saying is Disney, Warner Bros, anybody,
if it wants to make a live film,
go ahead and hire this Brazilian person.
Have them do the AI live portraits, and you will be just fine with your casting. Just walk around. No. Yes, come here. You know. But no, this is cool, freaky. But on the bright side, all the live film adaptations from cartoons can be just good.
You know what? Going from here, you know, let's continue the whole movie theme. So you only just found out recently about the new Doctor Strange trailer.
That's crazy.
And I had come upon a TikTok a bit before the second trailer actually came out, and I'm not sure. I don't think I'm gonna show it just because it is spoilers at that point. But all in all, the TikTok was just displaying. So when a new movie comes out and you're able to
talk about it, isn't it going to be spoilers?
I'm not going to say like names or not. I'm just going to kind of give a description of what the TikTok has, but I'm not going to give fine details of it.
I want to know how conspiracy theories.
Honestly, like we could probably make a whole separate episode kind of thing if it's just conspiracy theories and names and everything.
Depends on how far.
Well, we can. I was gonna say we can come back next, within this week. But so within the video, when a new movie comes out and it's supposed to be registered into like Cinemark in that case, right? Movie theater companies, the TikTok displays a movie company, putting into detail names of actors that are within the movie. And the person that made the TikTok managed to catch parts of the cast and the release date and all that kind of stuff and put it out to the world, right? So the TikTok basically gives you a good handful of which actors will be returning, which actors will be joining, which actors basically got select, whatever, right? So it gives you a handful of actors that are now within this movie, and they gave us a date. Now, like I said, this was right before the second trailer came out. So now that the second trailer came out, there's a little more of a rearrangement within dates, if I'm correct. But what I wanted to talk to you about was the trailer, because like I said, you only just figured that out about today because I showed you. But the trailer came out, I believe, last week, and I just want to know what you think, because I feel like the second trailer it's so widespread that you'd have to live under a rock to not have seen the trailer.
I guess I was under a rock for a bit. Thanks, asshole. Anyways, but no, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I just felt a caffeine crash right now. But no, what I was going to get to is the fact that I have so many theories on it just from the trailer alone. I'm not surprised from that leak you showed me that they did that, because they did that actually before with the the Spider-Man, the recent one that came out, where they literally showed the cast and they showed the names. And that's how I knew exactly that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire was going to be in that Spider-Man movie, because they showed the names. So I'm not surprised it happened again. I don't know if this is purposeful drops for anticipation, maybe make people want to go see it, or if this is unintentional. But I will say, though, that more than likely it's unintentional, because if we were to check out that website, we won't be able to find it. Just like with the one with Spider-Man, I went to go check out the website after I just saw that, and I couldn't find it.
I did
that. Yeah, see? So, yeah, that's why... I don't know, man. I'm hoping it comes out really great. Like I know it's gonna be. There's a lot of things I anticipate with it. As for leaks, I love leaks. Leaks make my conspiracy seem realistic or not. And I know we can't say too much because then it's spoilers, but I will say that I already have so many different theories and all that just because of the fact that, man, I follow the comics so crazy. So just seeing things piece up, I'm like, yep, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And then just seeing the cast alone, my theories are going to happen.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, like Marvel they've been kicking ass. They've been pushing and they've been doing really good with these past movies that they've came out with.
I was surprised, man. I thought that after Endgame, where the hell can they take this? And they took it. They took it many different places.
Yeah, many different places. They took it with their movies, series, and now even the series and shows are parts of it are getting implemented into movies as well, and kind of continuing the dialogue from there. Within the trailer, at least the first trailer, it was kind of already known that Doctor Strange was going to go and get in contact with Wanda, and the little part of the conversation came up, and that whole situation that happened within WandaVision of her being in her own what's the word? I guess just her own little bubble. Mm-hmm. They even mentioned it. So to me, it's cool that they're incorporating both the shows and the movies, and they're putting them together, and they're continuing the history and the dialogue and everything going on. But I just feel like there's so much to pick within the trailers, and I know that they do this on purpose because they don't give you too much for you to know what's going on, but they give you so many different hints of so many different scenes for you to go, okay, is that at the start? Is that at the end? Is it in the middle? We're when does this come in? Blah, blah, blah. The theories, okay, what theory can I introduce with this and that? There's just so much that goes on. But I feel like the same way with No Way Home for Spider-Man, there was so many theories. There was so many, so much thrown out to you that, you were like, I need to know or I need to see this. That after seeing the movie, you're like, there's so much going on. There's so much action. There's so much stuff, but at the same time, everything is pieced together. Everything is put perfectly into their puzzle, and the movie came out phenomenal, I personally think.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely top one for sure.
Mm-hmm. And that's why for me, seeing as how they were able to incorporate the stories, they were able to just set everything out, figure everything out, the plot and everything. I feel like if it was so hard for me to think about it for No Way Home, I don't even want to think about it for Doctor Strange. I feel like that's even further into it. But I know Marvel as a company, as a brand, they already know what they're doing. They've already, at this point, they've already been producing and doing it for some time now. But it's they know the end result. They know what they're trying to go for, and they know exactly how to set it up.
I hope this isn't considered a spoiler or conspiracy theory. It is a theory. It is a theory for sure. But it was in the trailer, so I feel like I could talk about it. Dude, at the end of that trailer, with that one guy at the end, again, I couldn't tell what villain that was or what character that was. But if that was symbiotes surrounding him, I'm telling you, they're bringing in Noel. He didn't look like Noel, though, because he looked way too old, and he didn't look at least a little bit buff. But, Marvel sometimes does their casting good, sometimes doesn't. So I'm not surprised if, they didn't cast her. But, dude, I'm telling you, the moment Eternals came out and the moment the multiverse got introduced, I said, and the moment we have Thor coming out and the confirmed villain for Thor happens to be the same person who holds the same weapon as Noel, I'm like, dude, Noel's coming, which is basically 100 times stronger than Thanos. And not even 100 times stronger. This dude's fucking evil. Pure evil. So it's like I'm ready to see Marvel take a dark path, because it goes a dark path. I'm ready to see. I hope Marvel takes this dark path. They don't, sugar things up just because, they have kids. Like, fuck that. I'm sorry, man, but sometimes you gotta follow a comic as it is. Stop trying to convey to every audience. But no, I'm excited, and I hope to see where they're gonna take it. Now seeing that they own Fox, they own Fox. What's they own? They're still working on Sony. I don't know if they're still going to have Spider-Man because Sony's being a little conflict, but they own Fox. So now knowing that they own Fox has a lot of rated R type of heroes within them, from Deadpool to Wolverine, all that kind of stuff. I hope that they use those characters well in this Marvel Cinematic Universe, because now there's even theories about them being introduced in that movie. I hope they use them well and don't strip the character of their origin. But so far, seems like a dope movie. Can't wait to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, and we were talking about the lineup for movies that are coming out later this year too, and it's like Morbius is coming out, and I know I have, or at least from theories and skepticals and stuff, that they want to introduce him into the multiverse, because I forgot what movie it was. I'm not sure if it was the Spider-Man or which one exactly, but they're already within the universe. So like when the movie
He's in
Morbius,
Venom's universe, yeah.
So it's like when the movie Morbius comes out, it's like there's another integration into that, right? The new Thor, the new Thor movie's coming out as well. I believe in July. So it's like there's that as well. It's like there's so many interesting movies that are coming out that each one like obviously is gonna have their own story, their own plot. But all in the end, I wouldn't be surprised, and I would actually expect for Marvel to go and piece everything back together, like strand everything back together.
We're starting all over. It took 10, 12 years to get to Thanos. It's going to take another 10, 12 years to get to the main villain. No, just watch.
All right, well, so much for our little geek out again. Obviously, we couldn't say too much. We couldn't give exact names and stuff.
I gave
keep
names.
Keep it spoiler free. Well,
I know,
to a certain extent, but just don't want to give too much spoilers in case anyone, doesn't want any spoilers or anything. But moving on. So our last topic, I had actually found an article, and sadly I wasn't able to recover it and get back to it. But the article was mentioning how it's cheaper to go to Disneyland, or was it Disney World?
Disneyland, because they said Anaheim. Anaheim has
Disneyland. So it's cheaper to go to Disneyland in Paris than it is in Anaheim here in California.
Yeah, everything's cheaper than California.
And running the numbers, like I'm not gonna lie, within the article, and you said this exactly, is the person that made the article, they're trying to live lavish. They're trying to live bougie. So for the Anaheim, I'm going to try and go based off memory, based off numbers. For Anaheim, they had gone for 3 days. 3 or was it 5?
I thought you said 5.
So 5, and the next one was 7, right? So they had put 5-day trip to the cheapest hotel nearby Anaheim being...
It was on Disney's site.
It was, what was it, $350 a day? A night?
Yeah, $350 or $450.
Around there. So all in all, going in with tickets for Disneyland, for the hotel, and that's just the base coverage. No, not covering any extra meals or anything. Came out to about $4,700.
Yeah, it was $450 then. That'll make more better sense on the math. Yeah,
4,600 kind of.
Yeah.
So around there. And right now I'm just rounding up because I don't remember like the precise numbers. However, for Paris, they had selected a 7-day trip, 7-day adventure kind of thing, with tickets included and the hotel coming down to 2000 and so was it 2007, 2008 total? No. It was less than half. So it was 2,300, 2,200. And then we on our own side, we searched up how much the tickets were round trip there and back from LAX to Paris. Ranges max was 670, right? So realistically, to go to Paris and spend a week-long trip at Disneyland, you're spending just about 6,900, almost 3,000. You're basically saving yourself 2,000, give or take, from going to Disneyland in Paris, then to go to Disneyland here in Anaheim. Now, that was our initial kind of conversation we wanted to go with, but then with the loss of the article and everything and not being able to refer everything, we did want to mention instead the price difference from Disneyland today to Disneyland 10 years ago. And that took us a little bit of time to research, a little bit of bouncing back and forth, different results. And it's actually quite, it's surprising. So back in 2010, a regular ticket was $3.50 with the, what was it? Average minimum wage was $1.25. Yeah, so it was $1.25 at the time at 2010.
I think it was just $1.
It was $1.25.
Because I remember when it was $1.75. That's what it was.
Nonetheless, right? So the way we thought about it was, okay, so back in 2010, you worked a part-time shift, 6 hours. That's paying you two, three different trips, right? But nowadays you have to work. How long did you say? You have to work a week, full week.
What was the one for today? Do you have that one still open or no?
What do you mean? So a bare.
Oh, dude, this right here is $1.
This was from 2010. That's what I was going off of.
Oh, my bad.
So, no, this is 1971.
That's what I'm saying.
This
We were
initial.
referencing 1971. Yeah, so 1971, it was $1.60, not $1.75. My bad. So it was $1.60, and then you said it was $3, right, for Disneyland ticket.
$3.50.
$3.50. So yeah, I was basically saying that within only about 2 hours, 3 hours really of working, you can buy a trip to Disneyland. But versus, what was the one for federal? We said 10 years later, so we said 2000, right?
We had put 2021 as of last year.
Okay, oh yeah. So federal minimum wage, it was 8.
So federal minimum wage for 2010 was 8.
Got it.
That's where you're getting the 8 from. So the
average ticket today,
plain one ticket, no park hopping.
No parking.
Just ticket alone, depending on the day, will range you from $104 to $120, $140. And that's just plain ticket, no park hopping, nothing. All right. Now, minimum wage today, right, you have to work at least a week, give or take, just to get the one trip, the one bear trip. So, for us, it kind of just caught us. It hit us with curiosity, which is why we looked into it ourselves, and we wanted to see the difference between 10 years ago, back in 2010, and technically 11 years ago at this point, 2010 and last year's 2021, with prices of today being 22, and just also receiving that information of the initial pricing of Disneyland tickets back in 1971. Now, obviously, the economy and currency has been growing and changing ever since. So pricing has been different, because if you could imagine in today's time having pricing like before, like everything would be cheap. Everything, like you would be able to.
$100 would take you a long way.
I was like, you could work for a week or two or for a month, travel all over the world for time. Like that'd be amazing. But then again, economy and money just doesn't work. It wouldn't even work out that way. But I don't know. it's just interesting seeing how back then, obviously, you know, the other thing you could see it as is there wasn't as many rides, as many things you could enjoy. So it was understandable for the pricing to be at what it was compared to now where there's so many different rides, there's so many different attractions, there's like the food places, there's, you know, all these different things to where you have all these different attractions that at some point, whether it's one thing or there's more, a customer will be attracted to it no matter what. Nowadays, you see a lot of people proposing there. Nowadays, you see a lot of people going and taking families, you know, going on trips. And that's the other thing, as family trips then and now, right? Taking a casual family of 4, now you're looking at a hefty price. You're looking at, you know, give or take $500 to $600 on just the bare basic ticket today. Back then, shoot, we said what?
I'll say you shoot a good $50. That's parking,
That's
gas, everything.
And that's what, week's work?
Mm-hmm.
You've been chilling. But that's the thing, it's just, you know.
What do you think it is, though? You think it's Disney? You think it's California? You think it's the economy that makes this fluctuation in price?
I think it's...
I'm curious to see how much does Disney World tickets cost?
I think it's all three, actually, for me. Because obviously California...
all three collectively. But I think, what do you think is the main factor? The main derivative of causing that price point? Because I kind of want to see Disney World and then Disney Paris again and see those tickets difference in price versus here in Anaheim. Because I mean, California alone is just very expensive. We're being honest. Like, it's expensive, dude. That's why I'm curious. Like, is it Disney? Disney, obviously, for sure, the most expensive thing. Just because they got so big and popular. It's like, we're charging a premium. Yeah,
it's like
it's
Apple.
A premium. Disney's a premium no matter what.
It's like Apple. You're paying for the product. You're paying for that brand. You're going because of that brand.
Universal, Samsung, Disney's Apple.
yeah, basically, like how you want to see it. So yeah, and that's what I was gonna say is like, you know, Disneyland, California. I feel like both of them. I feel like both of them are equally tied for that same reason. Because obviously, you want to come to California, you want to come down to LA because it's a tourist attraction. It brings people all over the world. But at the same time, just as it is with Apple, Disney is like, you're paying for that brand, you're paying for that location. That's why it's such a tourist attraction. That's why there's so many different like attractions, so many different things you can do. That's why Disneyland at least caters for at least one thing each person. If they love rides, perfect. You know, if they love walking around and seeing like sightseeing, perfect. If they want to make a great memory, perfect. You know, there's so many different things that Disney provides. It's just, I feel like at that point you're paying for both Disney and California because of where it's located and the brand itself.
Yeah, no, location's key on that part for sure. Just because Disney's smart with their locations, they make sure they go to tourist sites. But at the same time, that's overpriced. I told you how much I spent, but that's because it was like a deal, really. SoCal residents Monday through Friday only. So obviously there's contingencies, but
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Six Flags so far, out of all theme parks, has stayed the same on fair pricing. For sure. They've definitely stayed on fair pricing. Disney, they got cocky. They're like, yeah, put more money on it. Universal, I do think they gone up just a bit.
They're slowly getting
there. But they're still not crazy expensive like Disney. But no, for sure, Six Flags, I think, is by far has stayed the most efficient to middle income / low income families to enjoy. Just, it's obviously not attraction, it's more for rides.
Yeah. I mean, then personally speaking, like, I haven't gone in more than 10 plus years. So
to Disney or Six Flags?
To Disney.
Okay.
And to me, it's kind of like, I haven't gone since then. I honestly don't remember my trip as a kid. So for me, it would be like a new experience. For me, it's kind of like, don't know what to expect in the sense of going and being there. With Universals, I haven't gone in another 6-8 years. I'm not gonna lie, like I preferred Universals for the longest over Disneyland because of the pricing for Disneyland. And to me, because I am the kind of person, like, I love walking around, I love sightseeing, but at the same time, I love rides. That's why I picked Six Flags to begin with, because I love getting on rides. So, but now it's kind of like I've had the pass for a year. Now, you know, not much new. I've ridden everything that I'm able to, and I'm kind of like, okay, now I kind of want to move to something else. But I don't know. I just feel like for Disneyland, I would probably go with that same deal that you were talking about, just for the 3 days, and that's about it. See it for a year, and then not come back until like a few years later.
I was gonna say, what's the max you would spend / you think you would spend versus the average consumer for Disney trip? I'm not gonna say the amount of days, just what's the max you would spend. And okay, if I'll put a certain days, let's just say 3 days. 3 days, for example, but any day of the week. 3 days, any day of the week. This is excluding hotel. This is simply Disney putting a ticket price. What is the max you would spend for those 3 days? That you would say, this is overpriced, this is fair, and this is cheap.
3 days by myself. Fair. Honestly, I would probably give myself a budget between eight to 1,000, just for covering for tickets, place I'm gonna stay, food, any, you know, toys, gifts, whatever I want to get. Because Disneyland, it's like, here's all these different things you can get. Get as much as you want. Get as, you know, we have varieties of everything.
I'm not spending shit. Trust me.
No.
Trust me.
But that's the thing. And I know you. That's why, like, for myself, and I've told you, it was like,
you want to go get a lightsaber?
I want to go get a lightsaber. Yeah, like, I want to have that experience of getting one. Pointless, you know, thing to get. But to me, it's just like,
in the moment, yeah, why not?
In the moment, with what I grew up with, like, to me, it's gonna kind of like rekindle what I felt and what I had as a kid. So for me, it's gonna be a memory. But like, that is why I'm giving myself that extra budget, because I know those are worth, like, those cost like hundreds. So it's like, I have to give myself some sort of balance. Now, that doesn't mean I'm gonna max it out. You know, I'm gonna spend every penny, because that's also not what I do. You know, I try to minimalize as much as I can. Go for the cheapest day, cheapest hotel, like, you know.
Okay, so ticket price alone, what do you think is cheap, fair, and expensive? Ticket price alone.
For 3 days or for 1 day?
Not what you're going to spend, but ticket price alone for them to sell to you. Any day.
I know Disneyland doesn't go under the 100.
Okay. So
cheapest, and I'm saying with tax. So all in all,
okay,
right?
Yeah, cool.
So cheapest, probably 125. Middle, 145. The most, probably 160. I wouldn't.
You think 160 would be expensive for a Disney ticket?
But
we're about like probably a year and 2 months away from being 160 per ticket. It probably is 160. You said it's 160 right now, didn't you?
Huh?
You said it was like 140, 160 right now?
For what?
A Disneyland ticket?
No. I was like, so lowest I found, bare ticket and everything, 104.
Okay.
104. On a weekend, still bare ticket, just on a weekend, it was like 128. But then it also comes down to, are you doing like within holidays? Like, is it a holiday time? Is it a weekend?
Are events going on?
Is it an event? Is there ticket sales, or is there some sort of deal going on? Like, you know, all these factors take into place. But for me, for my own personal ticket, just one ticket, I don't think I would spend more than 150.
Okay.
Max. But even then, I still wouldn't want to get that high. Because I know Universal's was also like, isn't it like 120, 130 last time you went?
I don't know, honestly. But okay, what do you think the average person would spend on a Disneyland ticket that would be considered cheap, expensive, fair? I think the average person for cheap for Disneyland, I think they're willing to go cheap as 130. for fare, I think they're willing to go as moderate as $165. Expensive, I don't think they're going to consider expensive until it gets to $200.
I was gonna say, I don't think they'd get to expensive till it's like 210.
Yeah,
I would go through basically what you went through.
The 2's got to be in the front.
230s, 240s, 260, 270, and then 130, 140, 160, 170, and then 210, 220 at that point. Because then again, like those people, like either they're traveling, so they're already like, I want to go to Disney. I don't care what it is. I want to go to Disney.
Take my card.
Exactly. And that's the scary part. But, that's where I feel like for myself, that's what I would spend. And then for a normal consumer, what their budget would be.
I mean, besides that, I think that was it for the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're all good. We hit it with 6.5, 7 topics.
What was that?
Well, this the extra Disney stuff.
Okay, all right then. Other than that, I just experienced a caffeine crash, you guys. But Nadia, you want to close this out?
Yeah. So hopefully you guys see us again. If you guys don't see anything by the 24th, no, it's Charles. Hit him up, DM him, blame him. If this doesn't even get up for you to see this,
the 24th.
What is it? But I'm saying if it's not, then
put it in the comments.
We know who to blame. But we're trying to get back onto it. We have content that we've recorded content
that's just sat there.
So we're just gonna go back. We're gonna see what's outdated, so we can figure out what we can and cannot use. We still have one guest video that we've had previously. We just weren't able to find it at first. So we need to edit that and get that out for you guys as well. Other than that, still trying to get back into finding more guests. Currently, we're both going through more changes in life, whether it's jobs, housing, career,
all types of adjustments.
Yeah. So forgive us for any hiccups. Forgive us for any missing weeks or something. Like we're still trying to work ourselves out, especially now with changing schedules and everything. So still trying to work things out. We might
relocate.
We might move things around. Once we get a finite time, date, stuff like that, we'll let you know. But for now,
it's kind of like watch as we go.
Exactly. So once again, we'll try to give you guys as much content as we can, get as much out there as we can, and keep you guys occupied with what we have so far. But other than that, my name is Dario.
And my name is Charles.
And you just tuned in to New Age Podcast. Peace.